This conference will now be recorded.
Fine. Let me go and open one notepad. And in yesterday's class, we started discussing about how to go and create the flows in Power Automate. We discussed about what is the Power Apps, Power Automate UI, Power Automate user interface. And also in the yesterday's class, we discussed about how to go and create a flow with the help of templates. By using some predefined templates, how to go and create the flows discussed in yesterday's class. Now, in today's session, we'll start how to go and create the flows from the scratch case. So let me go and keep here cloud flows. So from today's session onwards, we'll start discussing about the flows, uh, how to go and create the flows from the scratch, from the beginning. So we're going to discuss about the cloud flows. So in these cloud flows, as we know that there are types of cloud flows. What are the different types of cloud flows are available? Types of cloud flows. What are the different types of cloud flows is there? There are three types of cloud flows are available. What are those? The first one is automated cloud flow. The first one is what? Automated cloud flows. And second is what? Scheduled cloud flows. And third one is what? Instant cloud flows. So these are the three different types of cloud flows we are having. These are three different types of cloud flows we are having. Now, first we'll start discussing about the automated cloud flows. Guys, we'll discuss one by one. First, we'll start discussing about the automated cloud flows, and then later we'll discuss about the scheduled flows and then instant flows. So first, let me go and start creating the automated cloud flows. First, let me go and start discussing about how to go and create the automated cloud flows. So now here, guys. Now, how to go and create this automated cloud flows is, first of all, in the yesterday's class, I said that there are three ways where we can go and create the flows. We can create the flows in Power Automate in three ways. What are those three ways? In yesterday's class, I discussed the different ways to go and create the flows. What are three ways we're having to create the flows? If you go to this Power Automate user interface in yesterday's class, I discussed about different ways to create the flows. If you want how to go and create the flows, here I discussed about different ways to create the flows. So first one is what? Start from blank. And second one is what? Start from a template. And third one is what? Start from a connector. So you can start creating the flows in these three ways, guys. So in the yesterday's class, we discussed about how to go and create a flow from a template, how to go and create the flows with the help of templates. And now in today's session, we'll discuss about how to go and create the flows from the blank, from the scratch, how to go and start creating the flows. We'll be understanding now in today's session. And then later we'll discuss about how to start the flows with the connectors. So let me go here. So already we know that what are the different ways we're having. Already we done with the how to start the flows with the help of templates. Now we'll discuss how to start the flows with from the scratch, from the blank. Now currently now we'll discuss about automated cloud flows. So what are the different types of automated cloud flows are available? If you go to this, let me go to the class notes, or let me go to the topic wise queries. If you see, already in the yesterday's class, we started discussing about the automated flows, guys. So we discussed about how to go and create some automated cloud flows with the help of what? These three. We discussed about how to create these flows with the help of templates. Now today is class 4. Now in today's session, we'll discuss these two flows, guys. We'll discuss about these two flows. So just copy them and paste it here. And also let me copy the first three flows. These are the three flows already yesterday's class we discussed. Now try to understand what's my requirement. In today's session, we'll start discussing about the automate cloud flows, how to go and create it from the scratch. First, what is my requirement? When an email, try to understand, guys, what's my first flow is. when an email arrives or when an email receives in the Outlook, if I receive any email in the Outlook, then I want to send one notification message in the Teams chat. See, as I am working in the organizations, let's say if anybody is sending one message in the Outlook, an email in the Outlook, I'm not able to go and see every time in the email. So what I will do here is, whatever the emails I'm going to receive in the Outlook, I want to, whenever I receive an email, I want to give one notification to the user in the Teams chat. In the Teams, I want to go and give one send one notification that you have received one email in the Outlook from so and so person. So just I want to give some notification, or otherwise, if you want to send forward that complete email in the chat in the Teams, also you can go and forward it. So let me go and discuss in today's session. The first one is how whenever we receive an email in the Outlook, whenever we receive an email in the Outlook, how to go and send one notification message in the Teams chat. So first let me go and create this flow, guys. So let me go and open the Power Automate first. Not to go and work with it, let me go and open the Power Automate and type here what make.powerautomate.com. Directly you can go and use the web URL. What's that web URL? make.powerautomate.com. Just go and click on enter button. When I click on the enter button, now see, it is opening which application here? It is opening the Power Automate application. Now I want to go and create one. I want to go and create one flow now. Now how to go and create the flow? You need to go to where? If you want to create the flows, go and click on what? Create tab. Now go to the create tab. Now go to the create tab. Now from here, you can start creating the flows. So as I said that there are three ways to go and create the flows. Now in today's session, we'll discuss about how to go and create the flows from the blank. Now see, what's my requirement here is, I want to create a flow, an automated cloud flow for what? Whenever an email receives in the Outlook, send a notification message in the Teams chat. So what type of flow I want to select here, guys? Whether I need to go and select the automated cloud flow, whether I need to go and select the instant cloud flow, or whether I need to go and select the scheduled cloud flow. Already I discussed when to go and use which type of flow, when to go and select the automated, when to go and use the instant, when to go and use the scheduled cloud flows. Now tell me, to get this requirement, I want to create one flow. Now what type of flow I want to create here? Yes, correct. So we need to go and create an automated cloud flow. So automatically, whenever I receive an email in the Outlook, if the email receives, automatically I need to go and perform an operation or an action. So let me go and select the flow type as automated cloud flow. So select the type as automated cloud flow. Now it is asking us to pass the flow name. It is asking us to pass what here? The flow name. Now what is the flow name I want to pass? Whatever the name it is, guys. Let me go and keep here the flow name as Outlook to Teams. So let's say I'm keeping the flow name as what? Outlook to Teams. So that means whenever I receive an email in the Outlook, I want to go and send one notification in the Teams chat. So pass the flow name, and then after, next we need to do what? Choose your flow trigger. So I said that whenever what the flow will start, guys. So when the flow will start, I said there are in the second class, I think we discussed about something called triggers and actions. So if you want to start a flow, first, what is the first step in the flow? Yes, someone please answer, online people. What is the first step in the flow?
Event, sir, event and action.
Correct. Event. So event is nothing but what? A trigger. So what is an event here now? My event is when an email arrives, when an email receives in the Teams, when an email receives in the Outlook, then I need to go and do some actions here, guys. Now, what is my trigger here is? So my trigger is uh, when an email receives, then I want to start the flow. So let me go and set the trigger here, guys. So let me go and search here when an email arrives. When an email arrives, where? When an email arrives in the Outlook. Now just go and select this trigger here, guys. What's my trigger is when an email arrives in the Outlook, then I want to start the flow. When I want to start my flow, whenever the email arrives in the Outlook, whenever I receive an email, I want to start the flow. Just go and select the trigger as when an email arrives. Select the trigger name and then go and click on what? Create. Just go and click on create. Now click on this create button. When I click on the create button, now it is going to open the place where we can go and create the flows. Now this is the new UI, new designer. Switch back to the old designer, guys. Go and click on this. Go and turn off this new designer. Just turn off it. When I turn off it, now I'm switching back to the old designer. Now see, the first step in the flow is what? Trigger or an event. What's my trigger now? When an email. This is the first step in the flow. What is my first step? Trigger. What's my trigger? When an event happened. What is my event? When an email receives. So where the email receives? Into inbox. So not only inbox, case you can select different. See, when an email receives in the archive, conversation history, deleted items, draft, inbox, junk mails, outbox, sent mails. So there are different things will be there. So when I want to go and run the flow means when an email receives into the inbox. Now this is the trigger, the first step. Now once the email receives, what I want to do? Once the email receives, what's my action? This is my trigger. What action I need to take? Yes, I want to send one notification in the Teams, a notification message in the Teams chat. So let me go and select here the new step, guys. Let me go and select what? A new step. When I click on this new step, now search for here Teams. Now go and search here what? Teams. Let me search here Teams. Now when I type here Teams, now see it is displaying all the actions. I said that first step is trigger. Second step is what? Actions. Now what action I need to go and take when an email arrives? I want to send one notification in the Teams. So search here Teams and then scroll down. Somewhere you are able to see an option called send message. Post a message in the chat or a channel. This one I want to select. Post a message in the chat or a channel. Just go and click on this. What action I want to take? I want to send one or I want to post a message in the Teams. Just go and select this one. What's my action is? Post a message in the Teams chat. Now see, whenever I select this, automatically it is going to sign in, guys. Now see, once after signing in, when I click on this three ellipses, you are able to see here what's the connection it is taking. By default, is taking my credentials. User 36 at the rate. When this is the credentials I'm using now. Now once after this, once after adding the post a message in chat or a channel, this is the action. Now in this, post as what? I want to post it as a flow bot. Flow bot means just one message. Next, flow in, post in. What is the post in type? Now select this, click on this drop down. I want to post the message as what? Chart with a flow bot. Select this chart with a flow bot. And then it will open something here. Now you need to go and pass here the recipient to whom you want to send the message in the Teams. To whom you want to send the message in the Teams. And what is the message you want to keep? Recipient. Who is the recipient? Now click on this. Now see, if I hard code the value here, let's say if I pass my user details, every time it will reach the email to my user itself, to myself. So what I will do here is instead of hard coding the value to whom you want to send the message, let me select it as dynamic content. There is something called what? Add dynamic content. So if you scroll down here, now I want to send the message to whom? To address. To whom you are sending the message? To whom you are sending the message? So to address I want to send. From means who is sending the message to you. To means I am the message, I am the recipient. So to whom they are sending the email, for them I want to send the notification in the Teams chat. So go and select what? To address. Recipient is to address. Next, body. What is the body? You received an email. Let me keep the body as whatever it is, guys. You received an email in the Outlook. You received an email in the Outlook. So from whom, I want to mention here from whom they received the email also. Just I'm keeping here, you received an email in the Outlook. I want to mention here from whom he is receiving the email also. So from, so I don't want to hard code here from whom he is receiving the email. Let's say today some other users are sending the email. Tomorrow some other users will send the emails. So from whom they are receiving the email, that user name I want to mention here, or email ID. So if you scroll down here, go to the dynamic content. If you scroll down, there is something called from address. I think it is not available here. Let me select here from, search for from. Now see, there is something called from. From means the person who is sending the mail to you. So select this. So what is the text I'm keeping here, guys? You received an email in the Outlook from whom? From who is the person sending that message to you or email? Select this one and keep it in the bold. I want to keep it in the bold. And also, this is enough, guys. This is enough. Just I want to give a notification here. If you want to mention the complete all the things, means whatever the mail they are sending, here I'm keeping from whom they are receiving the email. And if you want to keep the sub body subject, you can keep it here. So if I select the subject here, what is the email subject you are able to mention here? What is the email body you are able to mention here? Let me keep it here. First, once of you received an email from whoever the person is sent. Next, I want to go and select the subject, guys. Now, what is the subject of the email? And next, I want to mention here, what is the body of that email? Let me mention here, body. So whenever the email receives in the Outlook, now I'm going to run the flow. When I want to run the flow, whenever the email arrives, I want to run the flow. What is my flow? This is an event or a trigger. Once the trigger is happened, what is the action I'm taking here? I want to post a message in the Teams chat. So post as what? A flow bot. Post in a chart. And then recipient, who is the recipient? To address. And message, what's the message I want to send in the Teams? You received an email in the Outlook from whom they are receiving the email. And next, if you want to keep the subject also, you can keep the subject here itself. Subject, what is the subject of that email? And body, what is the body of that email? So just keep it like this. Let me keep the subject in the bold. Select this and keep it in the bold. Body, I want to keep it as normal text. So just once after keeping this, now go and click on save case. Now see, simple flow I am creating. Only 2 steps. First step is what? Trigger or an event. When this flow need to run, when the email arrives in the Outlook. So once the trigger is activated, I want to run the flow. Now what is my action in the flow? Send post a message in the Teams chat. So to whom I want to post the message? To recipient. Whatever the to address is there, to them I want to send. And next, what's the message of that Teams notification? What's the message you want to send? You received an email in the Outlook from, what is the subject and what is the body? Now just go and click on save case. Once after keeping this, just go and click on what? Save. Let me check. Now when I click on save, it will check whether my flow is having any errors or not. If your flow is having any errors, now it will display that errors here. Now there is no error in my flow. So what is telling? Your flow is ready to go. We'll recommend you test it. Your flow is ready to go. You'll recommend to test it. Now once after saving the flow, go and click on the test. For the first time, go and test it manually, guys. Go and click on the test. Now for the first time, whenever if you are using the flow, test it for manually. From the second time onwards, it will automate. No need to go on it manually, guys. Now test it manually. Select manually and click on what? Test. Now see, it is telling that to see it's working now, send an email to the inbox. Whether the flow is working or not, go and send one email. It is telling that send an email. Now let me open my email. Let me open myself my Gmail account. Now I want to send one email here. To whom? To user 36. User 36. This is only right. Let me check. NY. Yes. Now what is the subject? Let me keep here test. Test the Power Automate flow. Let me check. I want to test the flow is working or not. And let me keep here. Let's say whatever I am keeping. Hi. Some, let's say whom I can keep here. Arvind. Let me keep here Arvind. Fine. Let me keep here. Hi, Arvind. Let me keep here. Test the Power Automate flow. Thanks. Let me keep here. Just I'm mentioning my name. Just I'm mentioning myself here, guys. Now just select once after this. Let me go and send the email. To whom I'm sending? User 36. Just click on send. When I click on send, let me check whether I received an email or not. Let me go to the Outlook. Go here, go to the app launcher, click on what? Outlook. When I go to the Outlook, still the mail is not received. Let me check the flow. Flow is still running. Once the mail is received, now see, the mail is received at what time? 6:25 p.m. just now. When I click on this, now see, hi Arvind, test the Power Automate flow. And what is the subject? Test the Power Automate flow. Now once the email receives, now let me check the flow will run or not. Still the flow is running. Now see, it is giving some message. What's that message? Your flow ran successfully. Your flow ran successfully. Now let me check. I received an email in the I received a notification in the Teams or not. Let me go and open the Teams. Again, go to these three ellipses. Go to the three ellipses and then click on what? Teams. Let me open the Teams here. Now see, no need to about this. Just go to the chat. Go and click on chat. Now see, there is one email from whom? Workflow. Workflow means from the Power Automate. Now see what is the notification it is receiving. I'm receiving here. You received an email in the Outlook from whom? Venki Challa 1995. This is my email. To from whom I'm sending receiving the email means this is the email. And body, subject. What is the subject? Test the Power Automate flow. Now what's the body? Hi Arvind, test the Power Automate flow. Thanks Venkateswarlu Challa. So whenever if you receive an email in the Outlook, automatically whatever the email you are receiving, you can go and automatically keep this email body, subject, and whom you are receiving that email. You just go and send one notification in the Teams chat. Let me check once again, guys. If you go to the flow, here I'm seeing that your flow ran successfully. Now let me go and send another email. So I'm going to send another email. Let me keep here user 36. User 36. Now let me keep here. Test the automated flow. Test the automated flow. Let me keep here. Hi. Let me keep myself. Test the flow is working or not. Just I'm keeping some body here. Test the flow is working or not. Thanks. Let me keep here myself. So this is the text I'm keeping. So let me go to this. Let me go to the flow. Let me go and go back. Click on edit. Switch to the world designer. We are not getting the subject here in the bold. Select the subject and keep it in the bold. Yes. Now save it. Save the flow. Test the flow. Test it manually. Now let me go to my Gmail. Now send the Gmail. Now just go and click on send. When I send, now go to the email. Let me check, let me wait for some time. So I need to go and receive one email here, guys. Once if I receive the email in the Outlook, then automatically I'm going to receive an notification in the Teams chat. Let me check I received an email or not. Still is not received. Yes, just now I received it. Now see there is one message. Now what is this? Hi Venki, test the flow is working or not. Thanks Venkatesh Challa. What is the subject? Test the automated flow. Now go and see the flow here. Now I need to get one message. Now see your flow is running. Now the message is your flow ran successfully. Now go to the Teams. Now see automatically the second message is received. This is the old message. This is the previous message. Just now I received another message 18:30. Now what's the message it is? You received an email in the Outlook from Venki Challa 1995. Now what is the subject? Test the automated flow. Hi Venki, test the flow is working or not. Thanks. So like this, whenever if you receive an email in the Outlook, I want to just send one notification to that user that you received an email from so and so person. Please go and check that email. What is that mail? Why they are sending to you? So this is one type of flow I am performing here. Guys. Now once the flow is created, now I'm ready with the flow. Now the flow is working. Now from the second time onwards, whenever the email receives in the Outlook, automatically it is going to send one notification in the Teams chat. And also when I go to the my flows, now whatever the flow I create, what's the flow name? Outlook to Teams. Now when I go to the my flows is the place where I can see my flows, whatever the flows I created. Now here you can see the flow name. What's the flow name? Outlook to Teams. Now when I go and click on this, now you are able to see the complete details of that flow. Whatever the flow you created, you are able to see the details. Now what is the flow name? What's the flow name? What is the status of that flow? Whether the flow is on or it is off. Next, when the flow is created, when the flow is modified, what type of flow it is? Automated flow. And the plan, this flow runs on the owner's plan. And next, who is the owner? User 36. And what are the connections I'm using here to run this flow? One is Outlook and second is what? Teams. These are the two connections I'm using. And if you scroll down here, you are able to see the run history. Last 1 month or 28 days history you are able to see. Now this flow run how many times? 2 times. 1 minute back I run the flow, 5 minutes back I run the flow. What is the duration the flow is taking to run the flow? And next the status, the flow is run successfully or the flow is failed. So like this you are able to see the complete details of that flow. Whatever the flow you created, you are able to see here run history, how many times the flow is running and the flow is successfully run or the flow is failed. And here you are able to see the details of that flow, complete details of that flow. Here you are able to see the connections and see here the owners, co-owners. So currently there is only one owner, that is user 36. So if you want to see the complete details of the flow, go to the my flows and select the flow here, guys, or select the flow and go and click on what? If you go and click on this, there is something called details. In the bottom you are able to see the details. When I click on the details, it will opens, or directly go and click on it. So this is what how to go and create a flow. Whenever the email arrives, in the Outlook, I want to send notification in the Teams chat. And next, what is the another flow I want to create here is when an email arrives, whenever the email arrives in the Outlook, insert the email information, whatever the information that email is having, insert the email information into one SharePoint list or a SQL Server tables. Anyone is fine. Now try to understand. Whenever I receive an email, whatever the email I am receiving, I want to insert that email information in one SharePoint list. That means when I go to this Outlook, this is the email I am receiving. Now whenever I receive an email, I want to insert this email information in the SharePoint list. What information? From whom I am receiving the email, and what is the subject of that email? What's the body? How, if there is any members in the CC, I want to find out the members, those who are adding in the CC, and I want to go and capture at what date and time I received the email. So whenever the receives emails in the Outlook, whatever the email I am receiving, I want to capture the to address. I want to capture the from address. And also I want to capture the subject. I want to capture the body, at what date and time the flow is, at what and time the email is received. I want to capture all the information. I want to store it in one list in the SharePoint. So this is my second requirement. If you want to, if you want to do it manually, how much time it will take? Let's say 10 mails you are receiving per one day. If you want to store all the details of the emails in one SharePoint list, definitely it will take some time. But I want to do it as an automated. Automatically, once the email receives, I want to go and store that email information in one SharePoint list. Now, how to go and do it? So first of all, let me go to the SharePoint, guys. Let me go to the SharePoint. Let me close the Teams. Let me go and open the SharePoint now. Let me go to the SharePoint. Now in the SharePoint, we need to go and create one site. To work on the Power Automate flows, let me go and create one site. Already I created one site. I think you know, I already discussed in the introduction classes how to go and create a flow. Already I'm having one flow here. Let me show you how to go and create a flow, not a flow, site here. Let me go and create one site here. Let me go and create what? A site. Go and click on what? Create site. Now what's the site name? Let me pass the, first select the site type case. I said, oh, we have the two types of sites here. I said that one is what? Team site. Second is what? Communication site. For now, let me go and set what site? Team site. Select the site type as team site. And then select the template. I'm selecting the default template case, standard template. Select this template. Now go and click on this, use this template. Go and click on what? Use this template. Click on this. And now let me pass the site name here, guys. What is the site name? Let me pass the site name as Power Automate. What's the site name? Power Automate is the site name. So whatever the flows I'm going to get in the Power Automate, if I want to go and connect to the data source in the SharePoint, means what is the site I'm going to connect? Power Automate is the site. So once after passing the site name, just go and click on what? Next button. Click on the next button. When I click on the next button, is asking some private settings. For now, leave it. Just go and click on create site. Click on this create site, guys. Now when I click on the site, create site, now see, it is creating one site here for us, guys. Applying the templates, creating one site for us. Now see, once the site is created, you'll get one message here, finish. Just go and click on the finish. Once if I click on finish, now see it is creating one site here. The site name is what? Power Automate. Now in this site, I want to create one list. For what? Whenever the email receives in the Outlook, to store that email information, I'm going to create one site now. In the site, I want to create one list. So go to the new. To create the list, go to the new and click on what? List. I want to create one list now. Now what is the list name? First select the list type as what? Blank list. I want to create the list from the blank. So pass the list name. Email information. Email information is the list name. Once after passing the list name, go and click on what? Create. Once if I click on create, it is going to create one list for us. What's the list name? The list name is email information. This is the list I've created. Now whenever if you create a list in the SharePoint, by default I said that is going to create one column. What's that column? Title column. Now I'll show you how to rename this column, guys. Now I want to add few columns here. So if you want to add the columns, go to the settings and go to what? List settings. Go to the list settings. And I go to the list settings. In the list settings, you are able to create one. You are able to get the columns, guys. If you scroll down here, you are able to create the columns. So by default, there is one column. What's that column? Title column. Let me rename this title column to email ID. So select this, select the title column, click on this. When I click on it, now it will allow us to edit the column. Now see, edit column. Now let me go and edit the column, guys. What's that column name I want to keep here is email ID. Now scroll down, click on the OK button. Now I'm changing the column name, default column title to email ID. Next, I want to add few columns here, guys. Now let me go and click on what? Create columns. Let me go and click on the create columns. Now let me pass the column name here. Let's say from address, from whom I am receiving that email from. So let me keep here what? Single line of text. Scroll down and click on OK button. The second column I'm adding here is from whom I am receiving that email. I want to go and capture that from address. And next, go and click on again, create new column. See, if you see the column is added here, guys, from column. Next, I want to create another column here. Create a new column. And let me keep here. What is the, let me keep here CC. So if they are adding anyone in the CC, I want to capture them. So let me go and keep here multi-line of text. CC, maybe there are multiple people will be there. So scroll down, click on OK. Click on OK. And next, see the CC column is created. Next, I want to get another column, guys, or field. Go and click on what? A new column. Create new column. Let me keep the column name as subject. Let me keep the column name as what? Subject. What is the email subject? And let me keep here single line of text. Scroll down, click on OK. Next, I want to create one more column. See, subject column is added. Now let me go and create another column. The column name I want to add it here is, let me keep here body. What's the body? So let me keep the multi-line of text. Body means multiple lines will be there. Multi-line of text. Data type is multiple line of text. Go and click on what? OK. Click on OK. Now see, I'm creating some columns here, guys. Email ID column. Next, from address, from whom you are receiving that email. If they are adding anything in the CC, and what is subject of that email, and what is the body of that email. If you want to capture at what date and time also, you can go and capture. You can go and keep here one more column here called time column. You can go and keep one more column here, what? Date columns. You can capture it. Now once after creating the columns in the list, now go to the list here. Go to the list. Now see, this is the list I'm creating here, guys. First column is email ID column. Second column is from address, CC, subject, body. So whenever if I receive an email, that complete email information I want to capture and I want to store it in this list in the SharePoint. Now for this I want to go and create one flow. Automatically I want to do it. Now, if I want to go and automate it, go to the Power Automate. I want to create one flow. Now go to the which tab? Create tab. Now tell me which flow I want to select here now. Whenever the email arrives, I want to go and create what? I want to go and store the data in one list. So select what? Automated cloud flow. Select the automated cloud flow. Now pass the flow name. What's the flow name? Outlook to SharePoint. Outlook to SharePoint list. Let me keep here Outlook to SharePoint list. Now once after passing the flow name, next, what's the first step to start the flow? Trigger. What's my trigger? What's an event need to happen when an email arrives? First step is when an email arrives. So trigger is what? When an email arrives. When an email arrives, where? In the Outlook. Go and select this trigger. What's my trigger? When an email arrives in the Outlook, then what I want to do? First select the trigger here. Select the trigger and go and click on what? Create. When I go and click on create, now it is going to create one flow. Let me switch to old designer. Now see, when an email arrives, where? Into the inbox. Now this is my trigger, guys. What's the first step? What's the first step in the flow? Event or a trigger. What's my event? When the email receives in the Outlook. When the email receives in the Outlook, what I want to do? I want to go and save that email information in the SharePoint list. So go and click on what? New step. Go and click on what? A new step. Now when I go and click on the new step, what's the step you want to add? So when an email arrives, so this is the event. Once the event is happened, next I want to take what? Action. What's my action? I want to store the email information in the SharePoint list. So go and search here for SharePoint. Go and search here for what? SharePoint. When I search here for SharePoint, now see, it is displaying all the actions. What actions you are able to perform in the SharePoint as a data source. Now scroll down. I need to go and create what? I want to go and store the data. That means I want to insert some data. So inserting the data is nothing but what? Create an item. So what is the action I want to take here is scroll down. Create an item. There is an action called create an item. Let me select that one. It's not. Get items, not this one. Create a file, not this one. Yes, this is the one. Create item. Create an item. Item is nothing but what case? In the SharePoint terminology, item is nothing but what? Rows, data. So whenever the email arrives, what action I want to take? I want to create an item in the SharePoint list. Go and select this. Create an item in the SharePoint list. Select this one. When I select it, now see, it is going to connect to the SharePoint, guys. Now when I go and click on these three ellipses, now it is taking the credentials. What's the connection it is taking? User details, user 36. Next, once after keeping here, create an item. Here it is asking us to pass what? Site address. In which site you want to store it? What is the site we created here? What is the site name? Power Automate. So let me go and select the site address case. Let click on this drop down. Automatically it will display here the sites, whatever the sites are available. What's the site we created just now? Power Automate. Let me search here whether I'm able to see here or not. I'm not able to see the site name here. So if you are not able to see the site name, how to go and click the site name? Go to the SharePoint, go to the site, go to the site. Let me do one thing. Currently I'm in the site only. Let me go and click on the home tab here. Go and click on what? Home tab. Now from here you can go and select the site address. So copy up to here. Copy from here to here. Site, what is the site? Power Automate. Copy from here and paste it here. Once after paste it here, just one second. Copy and paste. This is not the one. Copy, enter custom value. Now once after copying and pasting the site address here, now go and select next. Next it is asking us to pass what? List name. In this site, what's the list? What's the list we created? Email information. Into this list I want to go and store the data. Now what's the list? Go and click on this drop down. Now it is displaying the list name here. What's the list name? Email information. Select the list. So I want to create an item where, what is the site? Power Automate is the site. What's the list? Email information. Now once after passing the list name, now see automatically it is displaying what? Automatically it is displaying the columns in the list. What columns is there in this list? These are the columns is there in the list. Email ID, from address, CC, subject and body. Now I want to map here, guys. In the email column, what you want to store? In the from column, what you want to store? In the CC, what you want to store? Subject, what you want to store? In the body column, what you want to store? I want to map here. So select the email ID, click on this drop down, select here and go to the dynamic content. There is something called what? Dynamic content. Dynamically, whoever the user is sending the email, that email information I want to capture and store it. So go to the dynamic content and email ID. Email ID means whenever if you receive email ID, that email will have one unique address. So if you scroll down here, somewhere you are able to see something called message ID. This message ID is nothing but if you receive an email in the backend, for each and every email, the Google is going to give one unique ID. So I want to keep that ID here. Email ID means whatever the email you are receiving, for that email ID you will have one unique ID. That ID I want to keep. Select the message ID. Next, from. Now here I want to map what? From whom you are receiving the email. So go to the dynamic content and select what? From the email box owner and sender of this message. So select the from address. And next, go to the CC. Now if they are adding anyone in the CC, I want to keep them in this field, CC field. So if you scroll down here, there is something called what? CC. Now just go and select this. Next, subject. In this column, subject column, what I want to go and store? Once if it is the email, whatever the subject it is there for that email, the subject I want to store. So select what here? Subject. Go and click on the subject. Select the subject. And finally, body. So whatever the email you are receiving, for that email, whatever the body it is there, that body I want to go and store it in where? In this column or a field. Select this. Go to the dynamic content and select what here? Body. Select the body. Select the mapping. So this one is called as mapping, guys. These are the fields is there in the list. Which list? Email information. Now into this fields, what data I want to store? So whatever the email you are going to receive, that email information. So this one is called as mapping. So once after doing this, once after performing all this, now just go and save the flow. Only 2 steps here also. What's my first step? When an email arrives, where? In the inbox. Next, once the email arrives, I want to start the flow. In the flow, what's my action? I want to create a record. Where? In the SharePoint list. Create a record in the SharePoint. What's the site address? Power Automate. What's the list name? Email information. Once after passing the site and site address and the list name, next email ID. So each and every email will have one unique ID. That ID you want to keep it here. From address, from whomever is in the email, to what CC. If there anybody in the CC, I want to capture the CC. And subject, what's the subject of that email and what's the body of that email. And once after this, just go and click on the save button, guys. Click on the save button. Once if I click on the save button, it will check whether the flow is having any errors or not. If the flow is not having any errors, it will tell that your flow is ready. We will recommend you test it. Or if your flow is having any errors, it will says that your flow is not ready. There is some errors. Please go and correct it. So my flow is ready now. Just go and click on what now? Test. So go and click on test. When I click on test, for the first time I need to go and test it manually. So click on this manually run the flow and then go and click on the test button, guys. Go and click on this test. When I click on this test, now see, to see it working now, send an email into the inbox. To see that email is working or not, to see that this flow is working or not, I want to go and send one email. So let me go to the inbox. Let me go to my Gmail. I'm in Gmail now. I want to send one email, guys. To whom? User 36. Subject, what is the subject? Let us say save email information in SharePoint. Next, hi. Let me keep myself here, Inky. Test the Power Automate. Test the Power Automate flow is working or not. I want to test the flow is working or not. So what is my flow? Save the Gmail attachments in the save the email information in the SharePoint. Let me keep here. Thank you. CC I will add. Let me add something here, CC. Let me add myself. And let me add AB Trainings Hub. These two are I'm adding in the CC. Now I'm ready with one email. Let me go and send the email, guys. Just go and click on send. To whom I'm sending? User 36. Now click on send. When I send, let me go to the email. Let just wait for some time. The email receives in the Outlook. Once the email receives, then only the flow will run. Just wait for some time. Yes, the mail receives. What's the subject here? Save email information in the SharePoint. This is the subject. And what's the body? This is the body. And this is the CC. 2 members I'm adding in the CC. Now let me go to the Power Automate. Let me check my flow is run successfully or not. Once the email receives, then only the flow will run. Now see, I'm getting one message here. What? Your flow run successfully. Once the flow is running successfully means, that means there is a record need to insert in the SharePoint list. Let me go to the SharePoint now. Now just go and click on refresh. It's not received. Yes. Now see, there is one information. First one is what? Email ID. I said that each and every email will have one unique ID. That ID I'm capturing and storing it here. Now see, from whom I'm receiving that email. Pinkychalla1995@gmail.com. And how many I'm adding in the CC? 2 persons. One is myself and second one is AB Trainings Hub. And next, subject, what's the subject? Save email information in SharePoint. And what's the body? If you see, what's the body it is? Let me go and edit in grid view. Now see what's my body. Hi Venki, test the Power Automate flow is working or not. What's that flow name? Save email information in the SharePoint. Thank you. So whenever if you receive an email in the Outlook, now what the flow will do? When this flow will run, if you receive an email in the Outlook, automatically it is going to run one flow. In that flow, what's the action I'm taking? That flow information I'm storing it in one SharePoint list. In this list, I'm going to share the information. So like this, whenever if you receive an email in the Outlook, then we are able to capture that complete email information and we are able to store it in the SharePoint list. And also once there is previously one more flow I created here. If you go to the my flows, there is another flow. What's the first flow I created? Outlook to Teams. So whenever I receive an email in the Outlook, I want to get one notification in the Teams. So I received one email now, right? Let me go and open the Teams and let me check whether I received an email notification in the Teams or not. So now whenever I receive an email, I'm performing the two actions. One is what? Sending the notification in the Teams, and second one is saving that information in the SharePoint. Now see, I received that email. So what is that notification here? You received an email in the Outlook from whom? The person's email ID. Save, what is the subject? Save email information in the SharePoint. Hi Venki, test of Power Automate flow is working or not. Save in email information in SharePoint. So whenever I receive an email, automatically I'm able to get one notification in the Teams chat. Here I'm able to keep complete from whom I'm receiving it, what's the subject, and what's the body. And that same information now it is going to be stored in where? In the SharePoint list. Whatever the information I'm getting, whatever the email I'm getting here, this email information I'm sending it to the Teams chat. And also that same information this email information I'm going to store in where? On SharePoint list. So this is what, how to go on whenever the email arrives, how to go and send one email notification on message in the Teams chat, and second one is how to go and store that email information in the one SharePoint list. Fine, let me stop here today. We'll discuss from here in the next class, that is tomorrow. In the tomorrow's class we'll discuss a few more guests. In the class for tomorrow we'll discuss this flows, different types of flows. Tomorrow also I will discuss about what type of flows? Automated flows. So to work with this automated flows, Power Automate, no need to go and write any programming, just drag and drop GUI. If you have that knowledge, then it's not a matter to go and create the flows in the Power Automate. Fine, let me stop here.